Now, of course, after an event like this, as you would probably expect, the news about Jesus spread quickly all over Galilee. Guys, welcome to the video. In a new location today, out in down Sydney, waiting for a plane here to catch to Asia on a bit of a vacation, so kind of exciting. And a little bit of new scenery here while we do today's Bible verse. But before we start, just want you to think about this question. Does the Bible present Jesus as just a good teacher? Does the Bible present Jesus as just a good teacher? I want you to think about that question as we do today's verse. Mark chapter 1, verses 21 to 28 today. And it says, they went into Capernaum, and immediately on the Sabbath he entered the synagogue and began to teach. They were amazed at his teaching, for he was teaching them as one having authority, and not as the scribes. Just then there was a man in their synagogue with an unclean spirit, and he cried out, saying, "What business do we have with each other, Jesus of Nazareth? Have you come to destroy us? I know who you are, the Holy One of God." And Jesus rebuked him, saying, "Be quiet and come out of him." Throwing him into convulsions, the unclean spirit cried out with a loud voice and came out of him. Wow, they were all amazed, so that they debated amongst themselves, saying, "What is this, a new teaching with authority? He commands even the unclean spirits, and they obey him." Immediately, the news about him spread everywhere into all the surrounding regions and district of Galilee. Pretty cool. So anyways, the first thing that we kind of notice is that Jesus teaches with authority, it says, and everyone notices this, and they're all amazed at this. And the scribes, they were a little bit different. The rabbis, the scribes, they would cite each other. They would cite other rabbis when they taught. But look how Jesus teaches. He didn't cite anyone. He's citing himself. And read this in John chapter 14, verse 6. Here's how Jesus would teach. Here's what he would say. He said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but through me." Wow, right? So, a lot different. And today, you might hear people call Jesus a good teacher. But this is very far from the truth that's told in the Bible about him. He didn't just teach like any other teacher. He had authority. He had the authority of God. We can also see this authority on display by how Jesus casts out demons, right? He's saying, "Be quiet, come out of them," and they come out. We can see Jesus as God, right? He has total control over demons and evil. And I think it's interesting that even the demon called Jesus the Holy One of God, recognizing him as God for who he was. And the religious leaders, the Jews, they didn't recognize Jesus. So I think that's pretty interesting, actually, because it says, I think in the book of James, that even the demons know Jesus is God, and they shudder. An event like this, as you would probably expect, the news about Jesus spread quickly all over Galilee. And we can see that as Jesus teaches, this is when the demons try to interfere. Of course, they didn't want Jesus to be able to teach and preach about the kingdom of God that was to come, and that was at hand. But everywhere Jesus went, they were trying to stop him. But as we can see, they had no power over him at all. Not even death could hold Jesus. So, to answer the question, Jesus was way more than a good teacher. He taught as if he was God, right? He proclaimed this truth many times. And in many ways, all throughout the Bible, we can see this, we can read about this. And anyone who's honest and has read the Bible can see that Jesus was not simply a good teacher. He never left any room for that, right? There was no doubt who he was. When you read the Bible, you can see exactly who he said he was. And his words and his actions were a testimony to this. So guys, anyways, coming to you from Sydney today. Hope you enjoyed today's Bible verse, and God bless, guys, and God willing, next week I will see you in the next episode in Asia. And I'll see you next week, but remember, true knowledge is meant to be shared, so tell a friend, or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 10. Tell 10 friends about what you learned this week, and I'll see you next time.